So here we have a bus that comes every 9 minutes. The times from when a person arrives at the bus stop until the bus arrives follows a uniform distribution. So that's important for us to know because that tells us what kind of distribution is. From 0 to 9 minutes, a person arrives at the bus stop at a randomly selected time, round to 4 decimal places where possible. So the mean of the distribution is, well, we need to remember, okay, we know it's a uniform, so we need to remember how do you find the mean of a uniform distribution. So here we go. The mean is equals a plus b over 2. And this is how we would write the uniform distribution between a and b. So it's a plus b divided by 2. And then here's the standard deviation. There's other information. This is all about the uniform distribution, depending on what we're trying to find. So we may come back to that. So the mean, if you remember, from what I just brought up there, you find the mean of the distribution is a plus b over 2. Okay, well here's my a to b, so it's going to be 0 plus 9 over 2, which is 9 divided by 2, which equals 4.5 for the mean of my distribution. And then the standard deviation, and again, let's look at the formula for the standard deviation, which is sigma equals the square root of b minus a all squared divided by 12. And you notice that's all under the square root, and that's important to remember that that's all under the square root. So for b, I'm looking for sigma, or the standard deviation, which is the square root of b minus a squared all over 12. Okay, so we have the square root, and b minus a is going to be 9 minus 0 squared over 12 equals, which is the square root of 9 squared over 12, and 9 squared is 81 over 12. And at this point I'm going to put this in my calculator and calculate what I'm doing second square root, and it's going to be 81 divided by 12, and then I'm going to close my parentheses. That way it takes the square root of both of those, enters, and it looks like it is 2.5981, rounded to 4 decimal places. So that is my standard deviation for this uniform distribution. Okay, so now we're going to get to the probability questions. The probability that a person will wait more than 3 minutes is. So we're looking for the probability. Let me write down C. The probability that their wait time is more than 3 minutes. Okay, so again, we can go back to, well, maybe we can if I can bring it over here. All right, and area to the left and to the right. So this is a greater than the one we're looking for. Move this down just a tad bit, and so we're looking at, it's going to equal b minus x, and then 1 over b minus a. So the area to the right, because we're looking for it to be greater than what we're looking for. Okay, so let me move this out of the way again. Alright, so according to what I just showed, greater than 3, so we're going to take the b minus x, so that's going to be 9 minus 3 over 1 over b minus a. Well, b minus a is 9 minus 0, which is 9. Okay, so this is my function here. If you look back at the notes or at the textbook, it talks about that. So that's 1 over 9. So again, let me just draw a quick picture of what we're looking at. Okay, here's 0 to 9. This part, you think of it as, there's my function, okay, which is basically the height, which is the 1 over b minus a. That's where that comes from, this part. And then we're looking at the width, because area of a rectangle is basically base times height. And then 3 would fall somewhere in here. And so we wanted to know the area greater than 3. And so that would be, the width would be 9 minus 3. So basically there's my width. And then this is my height. That's our function, f of x equals 1 over b minus a. And so we just need to calculate this. That's going to be 6, 1 over 9, which equals 6 over 9. And we can reduce that by 3, which is 2/3. And again, it wants it as a decimal. So we have to think, well, what is 2/3 as a decimal? And you can just use your calculator if you're not sure. And do 2 divided by 3. And we get 0.6666667. Again, round to 4 decimal places. So it's going to be approximately 0.6667. 0.6667. So that's the probability of more than 3 minutes. All right, let's look at D. Suppose that the person has already been waiting for 1.6 minutes. Find the probability that the person's total waiting time will be 3.7 and 5.1. So again, I want to draw a picture. Here. And remember, our original was 9 to 0. But this says, suppose they've already been waiting 1.6 minutes. So instead of starting at 0, we know they've already been waiting 1.6 minutes. Okay? So that's going to change our f of x, which is 1 over b minus a, because our a has changed. So that's going to be 9 minus 1.61, which is 9 minus 1.6, and I get 7.4. Okay, so that changes our height. That changes our height for this particular function. Okay, let's see if we can move this down a little bit so we can see a little more. There we go. All right. Now, the question wants us to find the probability that they will, the waiting time will be 3.7 and 5.1. So we're looking for this probability, and we're going to use, this as my height, and then 3.7 and 5.1, 3.7, 5.1. We're looking for this area. Okay. So we would have 1 over 7.4 times 5.1 minus 3.7, because that would be my width. Again, width times height, or base times height, however you want to look at it. Alright, so I have 5.1 minus 3.7. and that is 1.4. So 1.4 over 7.4. I'm going to take that 1.4, divide it by 7.4. And if I just hit enter, it automatically brings down whatever the last number was. So I don't necessarily have to enter it. And it looks like I have rounded to 4 decimals. So I have approximately 0.1892 for my answer. So that would go right here, 0.1892. Okay, so I've done a little picture of what we're looking for. We're looking for 78% of all customers wait at least how long for the train in minutes. So we're wanting to find out what this value is. So we're going to say, okay, this time we're given the probability, and we want to find out this x value. So again, you can look at the formulas, and it kind of gives you an idea of which one to use. Okay, so we have all the information we need. Again, here's the base or the length, and here's the height, and I need to solve for this x. So I'm going to multiply everything by 9. So 0.75 times 9 equals 9 minus x, 1 over 9 times 9. So these cancel, and I'm left with, let me bring my calculator over here, and let's see what 0.75 is times 9 equals, oh, I'm sorry, that's 78. This should be an 8 here, not 7.5. My mistake. Just notice that 0.78 times 9. There we go. And that's 7.02 equals 9 minus x. So I'm going to subtract this 9 from both sides. So 9 minus 9. Okay. And then 7.02 minus 9 gives me a negative 1.98, which equals negative x, and then multiply both sides by negative 1, and so I get an x of 1.98. So at least 78% of the customers wait at least 1.98 minutes. And I'm going to just write that in there, minutes. So as I flip back, I will put my 1.98 minutes in my blank.